Picture this. An FBI agent, just trying to get home, pulled over for no reason. He shows his badge, but the cop doesn't care. In 10 minutes, the tables turn. Handcuffs click, but not on who you'd expect. This is a story of power, pride, and justice caught on camera. You won't believe what happens next. He said to the officer, "I'm with the FBI." The reply came sharp, "I don't care." 10 minutes later, guess who's in cuffs? At 6:42 p.m., Michael Thompson spotted flashing lights in his rearview mirror. The sun hadn't fully set yet. A golden glow stretched over the rooftops in Danville County, Virginia. Kids rode bikes down the street. Sprinklers hissed in front yards. Michael? He just wanted to get home. He'd left Norfolk 2 hours earlier after a long shift with the Joint Task Force. It was all debriefs, meetings, and paperwork. No arrests, no action, just a clipboard and stale coffee. Now, on a quiet residential street, he was 20 minutes from his Petersburg home. He wasn't speeding. His black Dodge Charger cruised at a steady 28 miles per hour. No radio, no chatter, just the soft hum of tires and the low whir of air conditioning. Then a sheriff's SUV appeared, lights flashing, tailing him close and fast. Michael sighed through his nose. He signaled and pulled over to the roadside. This wasn't his first traffic stop, but it never felt routine. Not for a man like him in this neighborhood. He shut off the engine, lowered the driver's window halfway, and placed both hands on the wheel. Clear, deliberate, slow. Every move was calculated. The officer stepped out, white, stocky, about 6 feet, wearing dark sunglasses despite the fading sun. His hand rested too casually on his hip, near his holster, making a silent point. He skipped greetings. No name, just strode up expecting trouble. "Do you live here?" he asked. Michael kept his gaze forward, steady. "I do," he replied. The officer tilted his head, skeptical. "License and registration," he demanded. Michael nodded slightly. "Sure. My wallet's in my jacket on the passenger seat. Registration's in the glove box. I'll reach for them slowly, okay?" The officer didn't respond, just stared. Michael moved carefully, grabbing the wallet, then the registration, setting both on the dashboard before handing them over. "Can you tell me why I'm stopped?" he asked. The officer glanced at the papers but didn't take them. "You were creeping through the area." "Creeping?" Michael echoed. "Yeah," the officer said, as if it were a crime. "Driving slow, eyeing houses. Someone reported it." Michael blinked. "I was doing 28, just heading home." The officer leaned closer. "Anything in the car I should know about?" Michael met his gaze. "Excuse me." The officer stepped back slightly. "I'm asking why you seem nervous." Michael suppressed a dry laugh. "I'm not nervous. I'm exhausted. Been working since 7 a.m. I just want to get home." "Get out of the vehicle," the officer ordered. Michael paused. "Why?" "That's an order," the officer snapped. Michael took a breath. Things were escalating fast. "Officer," he said, slowly reaching toward the passenger seat. "I'm a federal agent. My FBI badge and ID are in this wallet. Please, take a look. I don't care who you claim to be. Out. Now." The words struck hard. Not loud, but heavy with intent. Michael opened the wallet, held it up through the window, ID and gold badge gleaming in the fading sunlight. "Special Agent Michael Thompson, Norfolk Field Office. I'm no threat. I just want to go home." The officer didn't glance at the badge, didn't flinch. "I've got a male refusing to comply," he said into his radio. "Claims FBI requesting backup." Michael's jaw tightened, not from anger, but restraint. This was no misunderstanding. It was intentional. Before he could speak, the officer's hand edged closer to his belt, and Michael saw the path ahead. His fingers stayed steady, badge still raised, eyes locked on the officer. "Sir," he said, voice firm, "you're making a mistake. The officer's name tag read, Ellison Patrolman." Not a rookie, but not senior either. Just experienced enough to act tough, not wise enough to know when to stop. "I won't ask again," Ellison barked. "Out of the car, hands visible." Michael stared through him. "I've identified myself. You haven't stated my offense, and you haven't checked my credentials." Ellison's face twitched. He hated the calm, confident tone of someone who knew the law better. "Think that fake badge lets you mouth off?" Michael stayed silent. He slowly unbuckled his seatbelt, opened the door, and stepped out, hands raised. "I'm complying," he said. "But hear me clearly. I'm not resisting, not a threat, and you need your supervisor here now." Ellison stepped forward and shoved Michael's left shoulder, not to knock him down, but to assert dominance. Michael stood firm, no flinch, no step back. "I'm not warning you as a civilian," Michael said softly, voice slicing through the tension. "As a federal agent, I'm warning you. Every second of this will be reviewed. Every action you take." Ellison's breath quickened, chest puffed like a fighter. He stepped closer. "You threatening me?" "No," Michael said. "That's a warning." A brief silence hung. Then Ellison spun him around, yanked his arms back. Michael didn't resist, not from weakness, but strategy. It was the strongest move. Ellison snapped a cuff on Michael's right wrist. Neighbors started noticing. A woman watering plants across the street froze, hose dripping. A man with his dog paused on the sidewalk. Phones emerged. Michael saw a teenager filming from a porch, locked eyes briefly, and said nothing, letting the camera run. "I want this clear," Michael said loudly for the bystanders. "I'm Special Agent Michael Thompson, FBI. You're detaining me unlawfully. I haven't resisted, and this officer is breaking protocol." "Keep talking," Ellison muttered. "We'll see your story in my cruiser." Then his radio crackled. "Back up. 2 minutes out." Ellison pushed Michael toward the car's hood, leaning close. "I don't care who you claim to be. You don't belong here. If you're lying, you're done." Michael didn't waver. He wasn't scared, furious, but controlled, cold. "You don't decide who belongs," he said. "Your badge doesn't trump mine." Ellison didn't reply, just locked the second cuff, tight, too tight on purpose. Michael breathed deeply, staring ahead. The street fell silent. Even the sprinklers stopped. Then, in the distance, cruisers rounded the corner. Backup arrived, bringing a reckoning. A second cruiser screeched up, lights blazing. A third pulled in slowly behind Ellison's SUV. The lead car's door swung open, and a tall woman in uniform stepped out. Slim, mid-40s, sharp eyes, dark hair in a tight bun. She moved with authority, not rushed, not timid. Lieutenant Karen Voss. She scanned the scene. A black man, cuffed, silent by a black Charger. A white patrolman, puffed up, radiating adrenaline. Neighbors watching, recording. "Status," Voss called. Ellison stood taller, voice loud. "Suspect acted erratic, claimed FBI, refused to exit when ordered, non-compliant." Voss eyed Michael, his calm, steady breathing, his silence. She spotted the badge wallet on the car's roof, stepped over and opened it. In 2 seconds, her head snapped back slightly. Her gaze flicked to Ellison, then Michael. "Special Agent Thompson?" she asked, recognizing. Michael nodded once. "Correct." Ellison faltered. "Wait, what?" Voss gripped the badge wallet. "You cuffed a federal agent?" she asked Ellison. He ignored my orders, drove slow, scoped houses. A call came in. I followed protocol. Protocol? Voss's tone chilled. Which protocol ignores an ID and cuffs without checking credentials? Ellison's mouth opened. No words came. Voss turned to Michael. "Agent Thompson, are you hurt?" "No," he said. "Just disrespected." She nodded. "Those cuffs come off now. I'm sorry for this." She glanced back. "Officer Vega, uncuff him." A younger officer hesitated, then complied. Michael flexed his wrists. Red marks bloomed. "Are you armed?" Voss asked, eyeing his hip. "Off duty, no weapon," he said. She nodded, processing quickly. Ellison stepped forward, defensive. "Lieutenant, respectfully, he wasn't clear. He was vague. I was responding to a 911 call." "Vehicle stolen?" she asked. "No," Ellison mumbled. "Aggressive?" "No," he admitted. "Resisting?" Ellison paused. He had an attitude. Voss's eyebrows rose. An attitude? A long pause followed. "Give me your body cam footage now," she said. "It's in the car," he muttered. "Get it." As Ellison trudged to his cruiser, Michael leaned closer to Voss, voice low. "You saved him. He was inches from a worse mistake tonight." Voss nodded. "I've seen that look. Good cops, bad ones. That wasn't policing. It was ego." Michael glanced at the neighbors. Some whispered. The teenager still filmed. He wasn't humiliated, just hyper-aware of what could have been, and who'd have taken the blame. Before Ellison returned, Michael turned to his car. This wasn't about control anymore, but truth. Ellison came back, holding the body cam like a prize. Voss took it silently, pressed play. Nearby officers watched, shifting in the heat. The sun was nearly gone, just an orange smudge behind rooftops. The street glowed with patrol lights and phone screens. The footage was clear. Michael's voice, calm, professional. "You live here?" "I do." "Wallet's in my jacket. Registration's in the glove box. I'm a federal agent, FBI. "I've identified myself. You haven't stated my offense." Voss's face hardened as it played, jaw tight, brow low. No questions needed. Michael stood back, arms crossed, watching Ellison, not the screen. Voss stopped the footage, handed the cam back. "You broke protocol," she said flatly. "You escalated without cause, ignored a valid ID, and unlawfully detained a federal officer." Ellison shifted, face red. "Lieutenant, he had an attitude. Challenged me." "That's not how stops work." Voss's voice cut sharp. "Ever think his attitude came from being stopped in his own neighborhood for driving under the limit?" Ellison tried to speak. Her glare stopped him. "Enough. I'm reporting this to internal affairs. You're relieved of duty pending investigation." "You're serious?" Ellison asked. "Think I'll cover this up?" she retorted. "Phones are on you, cameras. My body cam matches their story." Ellison was stunned. Accountability hit fast. Public. Voss stepped closer. "You cuffed a federal agent for nothing. Think your badge makes you untouchable? It doesn't. You don't rewrite rules for your ego." Michael rubbed his sore, red wrists. "I don't want apologies," he said. "I want accountability." Voss nodded slowly. "It's coming." The teenager from the porch edged closer. "You got it all?" Michael asked. The kid nodded. "Every second." "Good. Keep it safe." The boy swallowed. "You okay, sir?" Michael paused, eyeing Ellison, now frozen, grappling with his lost control. Then he faced the kid. "I will be," he said. Ellison stared at his radio, as if it could save him. It didn't. "Vega," Voss called. "Take Officer Ellison into custody. Standard procedure. Cuffs, Miranda, same as anyone." The street went silent, sharp. Even the birds stilled. Vega blinked. "You want me to—" "You heard me," Voss said. Ellison paled. "What?" "You're arresting me?" "You assaulted a federal agent and lied in your report," Voss said. "That's not just a violation. It's a crime." Michael stayed quiet. He didn't need to speak. As Ellison was cuffed, he looked away. Not out of pity, but because justice wasn't about watching someone fall, but stopping their harm. The crowd was hushed, the air thick with tension. Ellison said nothing as Vega cuffed him. The clink of metal rang loud. No yelling, no fight, just shock. A man blindsided by consequences. Voss didn't gloat or smirk, staying focused. Put him in your unit. I'll write the charges. Vega nodded, still processing. Michael leaned against his car door, rubbing his wrists, and glanced across the street. The woman with the hose stood frozen. The dog walker filmed too. This wasn't just a bad stop. It was seen, undeniable. Voss approached Michael, hands behind her back, professional. I'm sorry, Agent Thompson. No excuses. This shouldn't have happened. Michael nodded tightly. I appreciate that, but don't act like this is rare. Voss didn't flinch. It's not. But today it was seen. That counts. They stood in the dimming light, tension lingering like post-fire heat. File an internal complaint or let the Bureau handle it, she asked. Bureau channels, Michael said. But I want all footage. His, yours, everything. You'll get it, she said. Secured and backed up. He nodded, then tilted his head. Can I see your angle one more time? She paused, then pulled up her body cam. The screen glowed. Michael behind the wheel, calm, offering his ID, steady as Ellison's voice rose. I'm a federal agent. You think I care? Out, now. This is a mistake. Hands where I can see them. Michael watched like it was someone else, a version of himself who didn't flinch, didn't curse, stayed perfect under pressure. Then the cuffing. Click, click. He closed his eyes briefly, breathing. Can you send that to me? He asked. Voss nodded. Done, a voice broke in. You stayed so calm, man. Michael turned. It was the teenager, maybe 16, still filming. No yelling, no swinging, not even a flinch. I shouldn't have to, Michael said. The kid looked down. I don't know if I could have stayed cool like that. Michael stepped closer, serious. You don't have to prove calm to survive. That's not a rule, it's survival. But sometimes, surviving means staying calm. The boy nodded, eyes mixed with fear, respect, anger. Your name? Michael asked. Jaden, he said. Jaden, keep that video safe. Not for me, for you. The kid's eyes widened. Yes, sir. Michael touched his car's roof, needing something solid. But before he got in, Voss called out. The night wasn't done. He turned slowly, brows raised. She stood by her cruiser's hood, voice clear. Before you leave, Voss said, I need a formal witness statement. Here or at the station? Michael glanced down the street. Some neighbors drifted inside, but a few lingered, watching. Jaden was at the curb, typing on his phone, likely uploading the video. I'll come tomorrow, Michael said. I just want to go home now. Voss nodded, no argument. Understood. He opened his car door but paused, looking back. Will anything happen to him? Voss crossed her arms, pausing. I can't guarantee discipline, she said. But tonight, I guarantee truth. That's where accountability begins. Michael considered it. Not perfect, but real. As he sat in the driver's seat, she added, For what it's worth, thank you for staying calm, setting a standard he didn't deserve. Michael nodded. I didn't do it for him. He closed the door, started the engine, and pulled away slowly. The sun was gone. Streetlights flickered on. He lowered the window, let the air hit his face, and drove to Petersburg, wrists aching, mind razor sharp. At the scene, Voss watched his car fade down the block. She turned to Ellison, now in Vega's cruiser, red-faced, stunned. His mouth moved, but no sound came, as if he just realized his badge wasn't a shield. Voss stepped to the cruiser door. You're charged with unlawful detainment, excessive force, and failing to verify identification. Ellison stared, disbelieving. Karen, you're not serious. She fixed him with a stare. You think you're exempt? You acted on behavior, thought he was lying. You didn't think, she snapped. You didn't pause, didn't check the ID he offered, because you wanted control, not truth. He laughed bitterly. So I'm the villain? No, she said. You thought rules only applied to others. She stepped back, tapped the window, and told Vega, "Take him in." As the cruiser left, a few neighbors clapped. 2 or 3. Slow, real. Not for the arrest, but for someone finally acting on what they saw. Jayden stood beside Voss, watching the car. "Will he lose his badge?" Voss glanced at him. "Depends who's watching." He nodded, gripping his phone. "They're watching now." She said nothing, nodded once, and returned to her unit. The next morning, Michael's inbox overflowed. Bureau officials, reporters, internal affairs, all wanting statements, details, sound bites. He didn't reply yet. Instead, he sat at his kitchen table with black coffee, replaying Jayden's video. Ellison's barking, Michael's calm, Voss's intervention. Not a pause, not a delay, a stop. He shut off the screen and gazed out the window. Justice wasn't always loud. Sometimes, it was just someone doing their damn job. If this feels like it could have been you, you're right. These moments happen daily. But change comes when accountability hits, no matter the uniform. So speak up, record, share, stand firm when it matters. Respect isn't about a badge, it's how you carry it. And when someone thinks authority means impunity, remind them, real power doesn't need to prove itself.